Welcome, you guys. Oh my gosh, this is Kevin and Evan, and that's not a joke. That's for real. Cat and Nat and Kevin and Evan, and we're in LA, and they are the dumb dads. Really? Is that does that feel mean?
No. We try to say the dumb is silent. We try to keep the dumb silent.
No, the whole dumb is silent.
The dumb is silent.
So they're just dads.
Yeah.
So it's just dads.
Yeah.
And
is your name
Let's
Dumb
start
Dad?
over.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. Wait, is it Dumb Dad?
We're known as the dumb dads, yes.
Yeah. We're the dumb
Why?
dads.
Well, because parenting is insane and hard and confusing, and so oftentimes, as involved as we like to be in our children's lives, we feel dumb and stupid for getting a lot of it wrong.
yeah, like I feel like moms feel that way too, but we don't call it dumb. We're like we beat ourselves up. We feel guilty. We feel insecure.
Shame.
We feel judged.
Yeah.
And we everything feels so deep and hurtful, and we go to bed and we feel bad what we did. And there's we're just the dumb dads, just the way it is.
Yeah.
That's so easy.
Yeah.
I like it. Do you guys have do you have partners?
Yes.
Do you have wives?
Yes.
Do they have the same name?
No.
They don't like it when we do
unfortunately,
that.
Yeah.
Our husbands have the same name.
Oh.
They do.
Really?
Mark, yeah. So
Oh, yes. I heard you say the Marks.
The
You call them
Marks,
Marks.
yeah.
The Marks.
Double Mark.
And-
I thought you were asking we would also call them the dumb moms. I was like,
No,
oh, no, we
wouldn't
don't
dare.
do that.
No, we're
I thought when
smarter
you said
than that.
the same names, that's what you were saying. I was like,
That's
oh, we don't
right.
do that.
Oh, okay. So I'll give you a. I want to know. Do you think your audience is mostly females or males, dads or moms or both?
It is pretty split.
That's pretty 50-50.
Yeah.
When we first started, it was 70-30, mostly moms and women, because we're stay-at-home dads.
Still,
And so, yes.
really.
It's,
we're not really
yeah,
a
yes,
stay-at-home
yes.
working mom.
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
here
yes.
working.
Sure. But they were like, you're talking about the life that we live. So many moms, stay-at-home moms, were like, this is what my life is like, and you guys are talking about it now.
Were you stay-at-home dads before this started? You
Yes.
met by stay-at-home dads, and were there anyone else like you? Any more stay-at-home dads?
No, that's why we're friends. We don't know
yeah.
anybody else.
It was rare for sure. And it's the trope that dads are bad at making friends, because we'll go to story time, or we'd go to we have my gym, which is the little kids gymnasium thing for toddlers and infants and stuff. And I'd bring my kids there, and there would be another dad there, and the moms will all talk and the dads will just kind of that's about it. Just a nod, and then just kind of, alone with your thoughts.
And then you come home and you're like, I made a friend. What was his name? No idea. But he nodded at me.
Do the moms talk to you, or they kind of leave you out?
They
they'll talk to you. They'll talk to you a little bit, but yeah, they're not looking for a follow up next time.
Right.
Yeah, right. Exactly. They're nice, but I've been to situations before where it's a kid's birthday party or something, and so my wife can't go, so I'll bring the kid, and it's all the moms are there, and then they eventually, it's welcome, hi, yeah, and then they kind of slowly gather and start talking, and then you're sitting by yourself.
Do you get the question of what do you do all day? Do you do laundry and cooking and cleaning? Do y'all do that too?
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely changed pandemic and post, because now both of our wives work from home.
Mm-hmm.
But pre-pandemic, my wife was in the office, so yeah, it was laundry, cook, clean.
So when you heard the car coming, were you up and if you didn't do anything all day, because the kids were at school, and then you were oh, they're coming? Were you or do you actually do what you're supposed to do? You not do, but you do. But did you get in trouble if things weren't done when they got home?
There was one moment, and my wife and I now laugh about this, because it's the trope was the stay-at-home mom, and the husband would come home and say did you do anything all day? And it's I'll kill you. And my wife has done that before.
Yeah.
She has been did you even clean up today? And I'm just I kept someone alive.
Yeah.
And there was one time where my wife came home from work. I had a horrible day with my daughter. It was just it's just endless, and then you're just so stressed, and you can't wait for your relief to come home. And my wife also had a bad day, which is justified, at her job, and came home, walked in the door, and she called it first. She was like, I need to go for a walk, and put her stuff down and left again. And I was like,
this is so weird.
It's a mind fuck.
It is my fact, because I've never met a real life stay-at-home dad before. I've never talked to him.
Here we are in the flesh.
I never
Never story time or any of that?
A real life one. We've never met a real
And
life
there's two
one.
of them.
I think there's one in our neighborhood, and I've seen him forever, and he always walks to my kid's school. He's tall and he's got longer hair.
She's a lawyer. Yes, I know exactly.
You know the man I
I've
mean?
been to their house. Yes.
She's a lawyer?
She's a lawyer. Yeah,
Oh.
meaning he
Oh,
knows.
so
she
he
knows
says-
who I'm
he says
talking
so.
He
about.
knows. Okay.
But for all the years I see him, I was like, that guy. Like, but I never talked to him. So you saying those words coming out of a man's mouth is like, I'm like, how could he? That's our words. Like, that's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I've never heard a man talk like that because I know exactly what you mean when it's just like you get to that end and then they walk in and it's like you just want them to be like, you go. I
Yeah.
know this has been a lot. You go, but no, they've had a day too.
They've had a
Yeah.
day too, and it's like
Yeah.
it is justified
yes.
for her to have those feelings and to have been stressed at work. But it's like it's harder for the stay-at-home parent because like you're like, yeah, but you're making me stay at work longer. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
Yes, I don't get
She-
to leave the
yeah.
office.
You decompress on the way home in the car.
Yeah.
And still need to go, but your environment still changed. Where it's like, I'm still stuck. I'm still here. I'm still
Wait,
here.
so do you have domestics? We call them like. Do you have like the tiffs of? There's a whole thing on the internet right now about like the lead parent, the heavy lifting, the mental load. Like you've heard of this? Like it's
The
the whole
primary parent.
Yeah.
primary parent of
Yeah.
like what goes on. It's like the actors are on the stage are usually traditionally the men, and then the behind the scenes of making the show run and the actors and the lights and the like organizing everything is the women. So the men show up and do the job, and then they get to leave, where the women are cleaning up, putting up. Do you feel that? Like, do you know what I'm saying? By do you feel like you are doing always, like, are you thinking about picking up, dropping off, making appointments in your head all the time, grocery shopping?
I wouldn't say. I would say it's probably a healthy balance of stuff that truthfully my wife is better at than I am. But I do drop off and pick up at school like every day. My wife does planning of like meals, grocery shopping, stuff like that. I can't. My mind doesn't really work like that. I'm trying to think of like what I need to do in the next hour, not like in the next week or so. Yeah. But it is a constant conversation. I don't say, "Hey, you know what we need is this. Can you please add it?" Like I'll go into the Target like app and like put it in the cart. You know, if I know we need something or whatever.
That's
But,
good.
like,
That's good teamwork.
Don't praise me for that. That's such a small little thing that I'm trying to get better at. That's all I know how to do.
Is it on its way? I don't know how this works.
Yeah. Because rather than like put everything on her, you know. So, but it's a good balance of like taking care of the household. But she still is probably the primary person of planning.
Is that the same with you?
My
Is that just a lady thing?
My wife and I joke around about how like if one of us were to unfortunately pass away young, well, the other one
We
is
love that conversation.
the other one is absolutely screwed because like my wife handles all of like the school stuff and like the school sign up organization, like she like has that on lock. I handle all of the doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, like scheduling them,
wow.
bringing them. So like we both like split it a little too much. I take care of like the utilities. She takes care of the mortgage. Neither of us know how to pay either.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
like we're in like it's like a
You
good
guys
balance,
are
but it's like
in.
we need to talk about it though. Like we need like a folder.
Yeah, you're like serious business partners. You know,
Folder.
you should just like like look around and just have a woman that looks like she does the kind of stuff that your wife does in case that happens. So you can just like get her.
Oh, okay.
Should just fill in, like
Okay.
replace. I've got my eyes all over the place just in case.
Get a folder, like a folder.
Yeah,
and just,
folder
like, all
might
the
be-
like a drive, Google Drive, and just fill it in, and then
So-
just say like here, if this, here it is, all access here.
So you're saying have a folder. You're saying have a backup plan. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't make a
Maybe
folder don't make a folder of backup plans. That's a
She-
freebie.
and
I'll
then-
tell my wife about this later. When did you talk about this? In their hotel room.
Oh yeah, they took us right upstairs.
After they talked about their nudes.
Oh yeah. So who's the primary, like who, shit's going sideways? Who's the school calling?
Me.
Actually, you know what? It was funny. Like they have my number, but they still call my wife.
Shut up.
Yeah. Because we gave them like they gave them both phone numbers, whatever. But it's
Not
like
just them.
That's
like,
primary
still-
contact person
Well-
is me because I can come to school whatever when I need to, but they still call her.
Call
I will defend this. I will defend the school on this one. Not to dunk on you.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was at the school recently because I'm on the PTA,
Of course.
and I was at the school recently, and there was like I was talking to one of the administrators, and then a dad walked in and was talking to another administrator about something about his daughter, and they were like, "Okay, who's your daughter's teacher again?" And he just goes, "I don't know."
Yeah.
And me
That's
and
most.
the administrator
That's most.
like looked at each other and were like, "Oh my god."
That's most. Just that's most. That's most.
That's embarrassing.
That's most.
That's okay. We'll go back really quickly to why we say the dumb is silent. It's because there's a lot of stuff that we could do better as dads. But the idea is that we're always trying to work on being the best dads we can be. But that dad is the one that keeps the bar on the floor.
I have a different theory. You want to hear it?
I would love to hear it.
I think women are over controlling and we can't let go of responsibility and roles. Our experience. But a lot of women, you don't do it to our standard, which is wrong. Like you do it differently. We've learned that men just do it different. There's different ways, right? And
Sure.
I think that women are we carry the baby. We're off for a year in Canada. So we're the primary person.
Yeah,
we get an hour.
And people are now.
Yeah, we get an hour.
An hour.
Yeah.
It's getting better, the split, but we're like a year in of doing day in and day out. So we know like everything. We know like what their breathing is when we're on the bottom floor and they're on the top floor, kind of like that.
Yeah.
So I think that we're really bad at we're just like, it's easier if I do it. When you have toddlers, you're like, oh, I'll do your shoes up, even though they need to learn to do their shoes up. And then we just get complacent because someone's doing it for us rather than us stepping away. And we always say, new moms, leave. Like, let him figure it out. Don't breathe over him and tell him he's doing it wrong. Leave.
Sure.
Go for the day. Go.
Because we finally learned like the hard way after years of always just doing it. We can do it better. We finally got forced to like travel for work and we had to leave them behind. And when we came home, they were still alive and they were fed. I know. It was like, we couldn't believe it.
You sure they didn't buy a new one and just like paint the hair?
Google folder.
Yeah, and that's when we realized, and then that's why we tell like our advice to new moms is like share the load.
100%.
I wanted to ask, so you were like stay-at-home dads, and then your wives went to work, but then the pandemic happened, and now they're at home. Yeah. Like, did you guys like that? Because I did not like that. I don't want him there.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you like having her there?
My wife has worked from home for a very long time. Ever since like when we had kids and everything, she's worked from home for a very long time. She used to go into the office much more than the pandemic. No way. Then we were all home all the time in 900 square foot little place we were renting with 2 kids. That's how we went through the pandemic. And I will say, we knew very early on in the pandemic, it was like, this is going to be impossible. When they were like, this could be as much as 2 weeks. I don't know if that was like, that was what they initially said, like, everyone needs to stay home on lockdown. We don't know what's going on. This could be as much as 2 weeks. We were like, how are we going to get through 2 weeks of this?
Yeah.
I remember saying that to my wife. And then one night the kids went to bed. And when we first started feeling like, I don't think this is going to only be 2 weeks. Like, there's no way that this is just going to be like all better next Saturday.
Did you say that like a year?
Yeah.
And so we thought the only way this is going to work is if we just take it in stride. There's going to be very difficult days, but the only way is if we make the fun of this the focus and the family part of it the focus. Otherwise, we're not all of us are going to make it out of this. It's like that's going to be impossible. So, yeah. So, all that to say, the funniest part about all that was like watching my son try to do virtual kindergarten next to my wife who's taking conference calls. And like we made a sign that was like, you can talk to mommy, you can't talk to mommy. Because like they would walk up and be like, Mom, walk right past me for a snack or something. I'm sitting right there. And she's like on a conference call with like, the CEO of the bank or something like that. And it's like, you can't.
Why do kids why would they do that? Why do kids go to mom? Like, is it nature? Nurture? Like, what is that?
You were the one who was at home.
You were home.
Why her?
I don't know.
Is that the case with you?
Yeah, it was a little bit of the case with us. I mean, we had a weird situation. We were in a 2-bedroom apartment as well at the beginning of the pandemic, and then we got into a house, which was nice. But yeah, they kind of split the difference on it. I think it's like whoever's not around, and then I can get to them, then they will always go to. They're just like, oh yeah, you can't be bothered. Perfect. I have a question about that.
I'm like, when we went, I never heard them say dad. Like, never for anything. First dad. And to this day, and the kids are older now, they'll come up to my room and ask me for something when their dad is sitting. They walked by him.
Yeah.
But when we went away for like longer periods of time, like we went away for like 2 weeks on tour, when I came home, I remember them asking him for something, but I would say that lasted 24 hours. But it was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen. Like, they asked him what's for dinner.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so beautiful.
Can I ask you a question? Does he ever go ask your mom?
No. Maybe
No?
quietly.
Not that you know. Not that you know.
I don't know. I think he's kind of like, he tries to help me out by saying like, guys, like, leave her alone. Like, you can also, you're old enough to figure it out yourself. You don't actually need either of us. But I think he tries, but I think sometimes like they'll talk to him and he just doesn't answer. You know what I mean? He'll just be on his computer and he just doesn't answer. And because he's also like, half the shit you guys are asking is not worth an answer. Whereas I'll answer like everything. Like they want to know what the weather is tomorrow. I'm looking it up for them when they have their own phones. Right? He just knows how to filter it to the important stuff.
My son did the same thing. He's like, can I have a glass of milk? Like,
yeah, you can.
yeah, you're 9. It's right there.
Help yourself. Okay, like $1 million question. Yes. Guilt, dad guilt. Mom, do you have dad guilt? Do you guys experience dad guilt?
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
About what?
Oh man, you name it.
I'd say probably the big one is like overreacting to something.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's something you did. Your behavior.
It's usually behavior is like a big one, especially when like you're really like butting heads with your kids, and then you come down, and then they immediately come down, and then you're like, oh, we could have started here.
Yeah, you hear some
We could've
parenting
solved
experts say
this.
that like you're leading by example. So if you yell, they yell, and you're like,
Yeah.
of course that makes sense.
It's more like that. Yeah, like forgetting that I expect so much of my son is the oldest, so he's 9. I like expect so much of him because I want to raise my son. You know, like they're better than I am and all these things. And then I remember that my wife will be like, he's 9 years old.
He's already better.
You know, he's already way better than you already. But you know, so like then I'll have to I take that in for quite some time after that. If I same thing, remember, just like it's about starting small and like having a conversation about it rather than, you know, I don't like yell at my kids. I very rarely like feel like I'm yelling at my children, but it's more like coming down on him for something that I feel like he should have known, like you should know better or whatever. But it's like he's
don't
9.
should yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can should yourself right out.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Doing to should yourself in public, you have a real problem.
Almost did.
On the next episode,
Coffee talk.
Oh, they're aware. Our IBS reels go viral regularly to the point where there was a news headline, like a serious one.
I know what you're talking about.
It is literally like, and in other news, like on News Weekly, they didn't make it to the toilet. IBS is a serious condition. It was fucking hilarious.
They weren't even funny about it. They thought it was a serious.
It was a very serious.
I'm like, I've reached the point. It's just funny now. Okay, so you two are stay-at-home dads, yet you're sitting here on our podcast because you have grown an amazing audience. Doing what and why? And did you plan? Did you sit down and go, like, we're going to do this? Where did you start?
We didn't just find 2 stay-at-home dads randomly. Like, hey, want to come over and we can go to our hotel?
I've never met a real live one before.
It's our loop bag today.
Our kids are in the car keeping it warm.
What does a dad do on the way up?
What are we supposed to say?
Also, like, how do you know each other? Like, give us. I mean, I know it's kind of boring to tell the whole story, but you're going to have to do it.
30 seconds, Kevin. Go.
We met in 2013 doing sketch comedy. Way before kids and all that stuff, and we did that for a long time. Did web series together, a bunch of friends. And then after that all went away. We stayed friends and couple friends. And Evan had a kid, then I had a kid, and then he had a second. And then right before I had my second, we were talking about how there's not a lot of, if any, podcasts for dads at all. And Evan and I, being actors, also audition as part of where the Dumb Dads comes from. Is a lot of times we go on commercial auditions. What are you auditioning for? The Dumb Dad. Because like, how many commercials do you see where it's the dumb dad?
Yeah.
It's just the dad has no idea. That's every audition we do as a dad, is just the absolute idiot who has no idea what's going on, always falling through the ceiling, all that stuff. So we were like, that's funny. And then right before my son was born, like a month before he was born, we started the Dumb Dad podcast, and just kind of week to week, how's it going? What's going on? And then just talking about parenthood. And we have our Dumb Dad moments where we talk about what'd you do wrong this week? What was a moment where you could have just done better and you absolutely screwed it up? And then when the pandemic happened, we saw TikTok and all that stuff, and we were like, we can kind of go back to our sketch roots and but have it be parenting focused. So we started doing sketch comedy, which is what we do now. We're at the Dumb Dads on Instagram and TikTok. And we just do sketch comedy just based on parenting, real stuff that happens to us, stuff that we hear other parents going through, and just kind of go from there.
Like they write it out and then act it out?
Like what would be on a Saturday Night Live or something like that. It's like, you know.
They have like, you guys do like news, like not news, sports, like it's like sports but for dads.
Yeah, we
like,
do.
You know what I mean?
That's
Like it's
some
like
of it. We do like the press conference is what we're known most for.
That's what I meant. Press conference.
The press conference is what we're known most for, but we also do stuff like Parenting Through Time, where we do like play different dads through the generations. Like dads in the 50s have no idea what the kid's name even is. The 80s dad is watching the game, drinking beer, don't bother me. The 90s dad is just a note. He's not there. And then today's dad is like over apologetic,
Yeah.
overcorrecting,
Overthinking everything.
It feels bad about everything.
What are your dads like?
My dad's my parents. I was like a latchkey kid, so my parents were definitely like there was definitely like a note on the kind of on the stove
They were both
On the
working?
counter
They
or
were
whatever.
both working.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a lot of it.
You were a latchkey kid, major, by the way.
Major.
Yeah, same. Like my parents both worked, so we came home from school and like got our snacks together, finished, do our homework. We're allowed to watch one TV show,
Yeah.
and play, until they get home.
Is latchkey? I feel like kids these days have never heard that word. Is latchkey?
They're not that.
Is it negative? Is that a negative thing, or is that just like? Did some people think that was a bad thing?
I think it's how you interpret it. I think it
I think-
does
yeah,
sound negative.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like the parents weren't there parenting, but it was like this is a different time. Like we didn't have the internet. We didn't know there were monsters everywhere. So kids were okay to like
True.
go off on their
Yeah.
own and go on your bicycle and disappear until dinner. Like it was just a different time.
Mhm.
I think it does have a negative connotation, but it shouldn't. It was just like parents were working. We were fine.
Yeah, I like in no way do I hold that against my mom and dad at all. I mean, they were working, so we could have a home to live in and eat, and that's we just how we lived our lives. We came home. And I was the oldest of I have a younger brother and sister, so it was like I was in charge of making sure like
Yeah.
they were safe and everything. Don't answer the door and like basic stuff like that. But then
He's like,
we
we a
like
lot of pressure, but like I don't blame him. I'm
I was-
broken.
I
I'm
was the
emotionally
dad.
stunted.
Okay.
It's okay. I had to grow up
So,
earlier than I wanted to,
yeah,
but no,
we
I
would,
don't
like-
hold it against
we
them.
would like page my mom to let her know that we got home okay, and so she knew we were
She
home.
didn't even
and-
get it, by the way. She didn't even look. She was
Yeah,
like,
she's
they're
like,
probably
"Oh my
home.
God,
You left
Yeah.
a note on from the secretary on
Yeah.
the desk, and they didn't look at it. Oh, I missed
Yeah, so-
this.
Do you think that we should raise like you guys turned out great? We turned out great, right?
That's a terrible.
I don't know.
That's
How
a
do you
terrible
know?
analogy, though. We can't say that anymore.
We turned out great.
Yeah, you can't use that as an excuse. Like, oh, well, we turned out great. Because
No, but I mean, like now we're so like we know where our kids are everywhere. Like we pick them up if it's a block away. Like we're always there. Would you ever think it would be good for our kids to grow up the way we did?
I don't know because like it's Pandora's box. Like it's already all that information's out. The internet's out. In a way, like maybe we're all overcorrecting. I don't know
It's
the
too
answer. But
Also,
like,
we live in a major city. Well, I didn't live in a major city, so if here, no, no way would I be like, yeah, just don't go past that street or that street. We'll see you at dinner.
you got to thread
No
that
way.
needle of like there's too much information. Like you're hearing a horror story in like Oregon, and then you're just like, oh man, that could happen to me. So you're like overreacting a little bit to that. But then at the same time, crazy people also have access to everywhere, including
Right.
your Instagram and your Facebook. And
Right.
like, so you're not wrong for being overproductive because like the bad people also like have more
access
power
now.
and more access now. So I don't know. It's bad.
Yes.
I need to ask.
I know. Do you two live close together?
Yeah.
And how often do you see each other to record?
5 days a week.
Yeah.
Do your wives like each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you this because, Mom, this is the biggest mom qualm.
Okay, go.
Okay.
We are touched out. We're exhausted. Our
Yeah.
brains are exhausted.
Yeah.
Like we're around the clock, right? We're like, and we know a lot of. I mean, our community's all moms, and most of them work full time and then do all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Like they're doubling down, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's not. It's they have an extra paycheck sometimes
Yeah.
from that, and that's it. But they're often taking care of the house and their husband all at the same time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So sex is a big topic because a lot of them are just like, I'm fucking done. Like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
have you done for me lately?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ooh, you know.
Okay,
Do dads? You're speaking for all dads right now. So
Go.
Well,
Let's go.
do dads feel, or it just dads always horny, no matter how touched out, exhausted, mentally done they are? Could they always get a bone?
Yes.
Thank you for the honesty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, always. It's never not a solution.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because there are times where you're like,
Well, yeah.
yeah, because there are times where you're just like annoyed with everything and everyone.
Sex will fix
But then if you can tell,
it's a stress reliever. I
Yeah.
mean,
We're not built the same.
calms down. It calms you down. I mean, here's the thing. Like, but at the same time, it's unfair to assume that my wife is like as ready to go as I am all the time.
No,
Like, so-
I know. You're talking just for men. I was like,
Just for men.
for dads,
Yeah.
for dad. Like, not necessarily like, I won't do that to your wives. I was just curious in general. Do you think, because that would probably be women's number one that's the number one thing in our inbox is the way they feel about themselves and sex and their bodies changing after babies and not feeling attractive. So like it's a cycle. It's a whole cycle of this. And I don't think dads think much about much other than like, you're not like, could go to the gym a little bit here before I have sex. No, it's just let's have sex.
I still want to go to the gym.
Yeah, but you're not. It's not.
I still want to have sex no matter what.
It's not. It's not going to stop you from feeling attractive to have sex.
Yeah, probably not.
No.
Try not to be too worried about how I'm presenting, I guess.
She's still married to you. She's not going to go anywhere.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
How much sex did you have when you were pregnant?
Oh, fucking! My vagina went like it was like a puffer fish.
It's not the question.
No, it wasn't possible. It was impossible. It was very minimum. No, number one, you think 2, 3, and 4 were normal?
Okay, I don't remember. I just remember the first one, and I'm still trying to be like everything's normal, but the puffer fish was crazy. But yeah, like I wouldn't say in the first one it changed.
Yeah.
Put ice on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then probably on the last one, I was probably like,
we're closed for business.
Renovation.
I wasn't like, you know how some pregnant people get horny? No, that didn't happen to us.
Pregnancy is wildly unfair to a woman's body.
Yeah. And things
Also so magical.
That's beautiful.
But in a
of you to say.
magical way. But I mean, even now, my kids, my daughter's going to be 6, and my wife, like, it took 5 years for her to even have spicy food again, like at all. She used to love spicy food, and now she couldn't even have like a piece of it.
Oh, yeah.
No.
What?
No, I mean, just like, she couldn't even stand, like, she used to love eating hot food, spicy food, and then it was like, anything that had a little bit of spice, she's like, I can barely even eat that.
Wow.
It was like one of the minor things that she took on. But I mean, your body changes so much
They were talking
from
about
top to bottom.
They were talking about pufferfish vagina. And
I
you were
was
like,
just
my
trying
wife
to-
can't have a taki.
I wasn't really going to necessarily talk about my wife's vagina.
Come on, let's go.
Are your wives off limits? What's off limits for you guys?
The only off limits is mostly like our kids. Like we don't talk about our kids in our videos. We'll change around their genders, their ages when we're doing sketches and stuff because we don't want them to be the butt of the joke when we do the content. It's more about like how us as parents and how not even if we're making fun of us. Sometimes it's just like how stressful parenting is. Like we definitely hit those topics. But yeah, like because there was we just didn't want that thing of like it. We don't put them on social media and stuff like that. When we started getting when we got some stuff going viral, we got like, and kind of push them out. So I think that's like the only thing that's kind of off.
Yeah,
we'll still talk about them, but like we won't make them the butt of the joke.
Anonymously, yeah. And we also, I mean, when we first started the podcast, was the first thing we started. We were like, we can't just be an hour every week dunking on how annoying our kids are. Like, no one's gonna want to listen to that. So it was more about, well, how are we feeling about it? What are the things we're screwing up?
We're a little less anonymous on the podcast, but it's also more of an honest conversation. I will say that.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you,
Are you best friends?
Best friends.
Best buds.
Best friends.
have you seen each other nude?
No.
Yeah.
Not yet.
That's when it really becomes.
Well, that was the plan, but he went to the bathroom and then you brought me over here. So
if you played hockey, we're from Canada, and they all played beer league, so they go on the week like Wednesdays, and they all shower, so they're all nude in the shower.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you look? Like I'm so curious because all women
What would be the event that would get these two naked?
Well, I don't know. So I was asking you to see each other nude.
Yeah, what would it take?
I guess they just had to go play hockey.
Well, you're going on tour together, so you'll be.
Yeah,
will you share a room or have your own room?
I don't know. We haven't even discussed that. So,
we're
talking.
probably going to share a room.
yeah, probably.
It's so fun. We do.
Yeah.
And you have to come to Toronto.
We want to, yeah.
So this is like
Why
our
don't-
kickoff
oh
tour.
my
We're just
God.
doing a 3-show
Come
run.
December. We have a massive show in Toronto. It's called December to Remember, and we bring people in, and we have special guests. You guys should come. And we do have strippers, but they're great. They're like literally.
We can dance.
I thought so. You guys could start off and then dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna
Do you want
end
us
up
to
with.
see each other naked?
Let's do it on stage.
Let's do it.
Let's fucking do it. Your wives can come. We have a whole weekend of it.
Yeah.
Bill, you guys are going to be naked? We'll skip.
I have
Have
to
fun.
say, it is kind of like, I feel like we could spend a lot more time together, but talking to you guys is like the words out of your mouth sounds so much like us. And again, I've never met a stay-at-home dad, but maybe you're just like that. Maybe you just talk like that because you're just in touch with yourself as fathers. Maybe if you weren't stay-at-home dads, you'd still be like that. But I feel like we have a lot in common. Yeah. Oh wow. And you're still actors. Like you guys still go for auditions. And like if you were to be cast to be like the dad in that movie, you would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
One of you wouldn't.
Oh, you'll leave the other one behind?
Yeah, one of us would get the job over the other one, and then it would all be over.
The other one's the mailman.
We're going to say goodbye quickly because my battery's about to die and it's been 30 minutes. But we're going to end it with rapid fire, and I need total honesty. Okay. Do you wash your hands every time you go pee, even if you're at home?
Yes.
No. Thank you for the honesty. Thought so. Do you pee in the shower?
I don't.
Do you pee in the shower?
Not all the time.
Not really.
Rarely. Have you?
Yeah.
Have you peed in the shower?
Yes.
Okay.
Why wouldn't you just kill two birds with one stone? I'm like, in the morning, sometimes if I'm going right in the shower, I'm like, I'm not going to stop for a pee first.
Yeah, same. 100%.
Manscaping, yay or nay?
Yeah.
What's the question?
Manscaping.
Yay.
Yay. Okay. Did you learn that early or that's a later thing?
Kind of went all over the
We
place.
have boys in puberty. It's like, do you teach them manscape? You know, that we'll talk about that.
I mean, you saw the hair, people's hair during the pandemic.
Disco Bush. It was in for a while. You know what I mean? That was a hot tip.
Yeah.
Do you when you're using the men's washroom, do you sit down when you pee?
Yes.
No.
Oh, okay.
What about at home? Do you sit down when you pee?
Mostly.
No.
And have
cleaner.
Yay or nay? Getting naked when you go number 2.
No.
Nay.
That's the thing.
That's the thing men do.
I know.
Do you
Totally naked to
about
take
it.
a dump?
naked? Yes. Do you leave the door open and like would your spouse be in the bathroom with you for a number 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And vice versa?
Yeah.
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 Wow. You could be there brushing her teeth and she's pooping.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Do you have like palatial bathrooms?
No, we have like high five while we're brushing and pooping.
Again, I used to live in 900 square feet with 2 children. I mean, there was only one bathroom. It was all fair.
No, I don't want to see. I don't want to see him sit on the toilet. I don't want to see you sit.
You've never seen him sit on the toilet?
I actually get grossed out.
You haven't seen where he is a third of the day?
No, it's actually a massive. Oh, and then last one, is that a lie? Does it take that long, or what? Or what are you doing in the bathroom?
I don't take that long.
Yeah.
I made like 15 minutes max.
Oh
Sorry,
Yeah, but the trope is like that it's an hour.
You
cook a meal. You could cook a meal.
You're going to get a hemorrhoid if you sit that long. What the?
Another one?
I can only watch like the first quarter of a Peter Jackson film. I mean,
Only 15 minutes.
Hold on. I said max.
I don't understand what people do. So I've asked my kids because I've got one that sits there. I said, I don't understand because when I have to go to the bathroom, I go to the bathroom like it's ready. I go and I'm out. It's like 2 minutes. What if you sit there for 15 minutes? And I really wonder this. Does it take that long to come? This is gross, I know, but does it take that long to come out? Or does it come out and then you just sit there and maybe more comes out later? Or does it take all that time for it to come out?
B. It's B.
B.
It's B. Something comes right out the gate,
Yeah.
and then you're kind of like, I don't feel better, so you're gonna sit there for a little longer.
Still a little sweaty.
And more
I
comes
need to
out.
wait.
And then you just hang for a bit. It used to be you read the back of a shampoo bottle, but now we have phones.
Yeah, now you watch
And
like
then,
the last 2
yeah.
minutes of the
And then
sketch you're watching,
surprise
and then
more.
And it sometimes surprises more. And then sometimes you're just like, it's not happening. I gotta eat more vegetables.
yeah.
I have nothing in common with this. I've never.
Not enough coffee.
So, mom and stay-at-home moms and stay-at-home dads have a lot in common, except for the bathroom and sex. Really,
I've never heard of a woman.
Pooing and sex.
A woman who takes a long time on the toilet. And her feet used to go numb, and her husband used to have to like, get out of there.
okay. So,
We used to go
Hold on.
to the toilet. Yeah.
Her husband had to help her up.
Get the fuck off the toilet. You're done in there.
She'd crawl away out of the bathroom because her feet were numb.
she couldn't do her pants up. You had to come in, put her pants on, and
She
she.
got divorced.
Oh, did they?
Shocker.
Where can
He
you
got
guys
the-
are? You guys are so fun. Where can everyone find you? Where do you want them to go? Oh shit, this was fun.
At the Dumb Dads on social media everywhere: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Come see us on
See
tour
us live
in Chicago,
at City
And-
Winery.
starting
Nashville.
and Nashville and St. Louis.
Yeah,
Oh my!
August
we're
5th,
going there
6th, and
too. Not
7th.
First tour.
this is our first tour. So this is
I
our
know.
kickoff, and then we're hoping to do a
Yeah, then
much
we're gonna
larger one after.
Say goodbye to the kids. You're getting a tour bus. So one more thing is, what do you when you're on tour? What are you doing on the stage? You two chairs, 2 guys, 2 mics.
I don't. That's
and a toilet.
yeah.
Yeah.
There'll be 2 toilets.
2 guys, 1 toilet, and it's
Yeah,
the
fight.
You gotta fight for it.
It's called the Numb Feet. That's the name of the tour.
Some feet. Hilarious.
It's going to be sort of like a variety show. Some of the sketches that we do, we'll do them live.
Original,
Probably,
but yeah.
Yeah, do some original stuff as well people haven't seen before, and just kind of keep it light and fun and celebrate the parents getting out of the house with no children. Will be the
Amazing.
biggest
All that
fun
stuff.
part about it.
Q&A.
Are
Yeah.
you excited, nervous? I mean, you're actors, so I guess you don't have to worry about getting over the nervous part.
No, I'm very nervous. I haven't done live sketch in a while. I mean, I did it for years. So I'm excited to get back into it. But yeah, I mean, it's terrifying.
The one moms are going to hit on you so massively.
Oh no.
Yeah, they are. I'm sorry, they are.
Yeah.
My brothers, my
Yeah,
dad,
moms are different beasts.
crazy.
Yeah, or like they'll throw bras at us. Like they're crazy. Like they're amazing. They're unhinged.
Hopefully we'll get some guys underwear thrown at us. Is that what you
No,
No, moms will
I don't
be
want.
very.
I don't want those tattered holes in them. Just throw them away. Underwear
I don't need
thrown
these
on
anymore.
stage.
It's like you're validating moms everywhere. You're like, oh my god, that's so sexy.
Tattered underwear. The dad and
You're like, I
I.
gotta
should we not
I gotta
listen?
I
pick
hope
some up.
this doesn't get out, and maybe you guys have this too. But like the dad that I think is hot, so he bent over,
And you saw tattered underwear.
and his underwear, like the waistband, had ripped from the cotton part.
Hell yeah.
Get rid of those, right, men?
Get
Turn
rid
off.
of them.
Yeah,
Get rid of
why?
them.
What is happening?
Get rid of them.
And I was like, what's everything?
Vintage
like under
T-shirts,
there?
cool. Vintage underwear,
Yes.
got a lot of questions.
Vintage underwear and
Yeah.
skid stains. Just throw those out.
Yeah.
They're not skid stains anymore. It's part of that underwear, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You guys are the best.
The dirt
Thank
road
you
in
for
the back.
joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You guys are the best.